Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today is Tongue Twister Day. All these crazy days that exist, and so I just have to go and think of a square for that particular day. So I have designed this tongue twister square. It is a circular square. That doesn't sound right. It is a circle turned into a square, which then we've done this twister in the center. This one isn't quite correct. This was probably my first prototype, and I made a mistake because I double backed on myself. So I'm not going to do that today. So I've done this twister in this on top, and it might look complicated, but actually it's quite simple. So you could do this all in one colour, but it kind of shows it off more if you use two colours. So I am going to grab my yarn. I've got my hook ready and let's get started. Okay, so this square works better with a nice closed in centre. So you could do the magic ring, or an alternative, if you just don't like the magic ring, don't get on with it, is to chain 4, and then the first 3, well, the last 3 chains will count as your double crochet, and then we're going to work into the bottom chain, and we're going to use that as if it's our ring. So into that bottom chain, we're going to do 11 double crochets. So either into there or into your magic ring, you want to do, if you're using the magic ring, you want to chain 3 or use the chainless double crochet, and you want to have 12 double crochets at the end. Okay, that's what we're working towards, are 12 double crochets, including that chain 3. So I will do those, and then I will see you back here in a moment. Okay, so there's my 12, and then you want to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3, or if you've used a standing double crochet, into the top of that. And then you can see that I've used that chain 4 and used that bottom chain as my ring, and you can see how it's already quite closed in. Then you can just pull on your tail and cinch that in nicely. So there we go. Okay, so for round 2, we are going to put 2 stitches into every stitch. So we will have 24 double crochets at the end of this round. Excuse me. And you can use the standing double crochet at the start of each round if you prefer. I might forget to tell you that, so I'm just going to use the chain 3, but you do as you wish. And from this round onwards, we are going to work in the back loop only, leaving those front loops clear. So that's where we're going to work our twister into those front loops at the end. So let's chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the back loop only of every stitch around. So this next one can be a bit tricky, the one next to your chain, but work into it anyway, into that back loop, into that back loop, and do 2 double crochets. Okay, your loops may seem like they're really loose, like look at the size of that loop there, crazy, but it will be fine once you've done all of your square. It will be absolutely fine. Don't panic about those big loops there. Okay, so 2 double crochets in each back loop, and at the end you will have 24 double crochets. Okay, 24 double crochets and a slip stitch into the top of my chain 3. So if you look at this now, you if you haven't already done this yourself, if you're just watching along, you can see on the front here there's a ring of front loops camera chooses to focus, that would be nice. So we have this ring of loops, and we're going to have that on every round now, and we're going to work into those loops when we do the twister. So all good. So round 3, we are going to do our chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch. And then remember, we're working into the back loop only, so we're going to do a double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. And 1 in the back loop of the next stitch. So work this all the way around, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and at the end you will have 36 double crochets. Don't forget to slip stitch in the top chain, and I'll see you 36 double crochets later. And there we go, you can see our second band of loops at the front there. So looking good. Now if you've ever tried to make a flat circle and it has turned out to be slightly hexagonal and not quite so round, it's probably because you've been doing your increases in the same place. Now we've done 2 double crochet in the starting stitch here and 2 double crochet in the starting stitch on the next round. If we continue to do 2 double crochet in the starting stitch on every round and make those increases in exactly the same spot, that's when it starts to take a shape of a hexagon. So we need to just mix it up and do the increases in a slightly different place. So we're not going to do 2 double crochet in the first stitch. We're going to do our chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Okay, so we've got 2 individual stitches there, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 stitches in the next stitch. So we've just moved that increase to a different place. Okay, so it now won't become hexagonal, it will stay, if I turn this over, it will stay perfectly round, just as this is perfectly round. I have made circles in the past and they did turn out to be slightly sort of hexagonal. They had quite sharp angles, so it's because I was doing my increases in the same place. So that's what you need to do if you want to have a nice circular circle. Okay, so 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and 2 in the next stitch in the back loop only. Okay, so I like to I just think of it as 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And at the end of this round you will have 48 double crochets. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And here we go, at the end of round 4, looking good and nice and circular. So we're going to change that increasing spot once more, and we're going to go back to doing it in the first stitch. So chain 3 and then a double crochet in that same stitch, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the back loop only of the next 3 stitches. Oops, 3. Okay, and then you're going to do 2 in the next stitch, and 1 in each of the next 3. And then you're going to repeat this around. So in my way of thinking, I'd say 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, or you could do 2, 3, 4, 5, and count around like so. And you're going to have 60 double crochets at the end of this round. Okay, so 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this round, 60 double crochets later. Okay, so there's the end of our circle, and we're now going to square this off. Now you could continue in the same colour, or you could do as I've done here and do your square round in the same colour that you're going to do your twister. It just I kind of like the way it brings the colours together. So that's just one idea there. Or of course you could use like however many colours, and maybe you've even done your circle in different colours each round. That would be pretty cool. So I've just joined my colour into the same place that I fastened off. And then I'm going to work over my 2 ends. And we're going to square this off. So we're going to do a chain 4, which counts as a treble crochet. And then we're going to do another treble crochet in that same stitch. And that's going to be a double crochet. Let's try that for a treble, shall we? Okay. So treble. Okay. And then we're going to chain 2 and do 2 more trebles in that very same stitch. Now I apologise for being a bit all over the place today with what I'm doing. Some of you might have noticed, if you've watched a few of my videos, you might have noticed that sometimes I have sort of shaky hands, and it's just kind of a thing that I have going on, that some days my hands don't work quite as well as other days. And today is one of those days. I just kind of plod on and carry on through that, but I apologise if it means that sometimes I'm kind of having a job to get my hook in and having stitches flying off the hook and all of that, but it is one of those days with my hands today, so I do apologise, but we'll carry on. And tomorrow could be a much better day. Okay, so that's our first corner, and then we're going to take this, as we've done on a lot of squares, we have taller stitches here, and then we work down to our small stitches on the highest point of the circle, and then we work out again to our tall stitches. So we are going to do 2 double crochets. This is 1 in each stitch. So we are not going in the back loop anymore. We're just going to go through the entire stitch. So 2 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, see, this is my tricky moment. Here we go. Okay, so oops, 2 double crochets, and then 2 half double crochets. Remember, 1 in each stitch. Let's work along, and then 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then working back up, 2 half double crochets, two double crochets, and then we're back to the next corner. So that corner is 2 treble crochets. This is all in the same stitch. 2 treble crochets, chain 2 and 2 treble crochets. And that is what you're going to do along each side. So here we go. poke that bit back through there. Okay, so this is what we're going to do on each side. So your corner is 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles, and then you're going to do 2 double crochet, 2 half double crochet, 6 single, and then 2 half, 2 double, and then your corner. And you're going to do that on each side, and slip stitch into the top of your chain 4 when you get around to the beginning, and then fasten off if your square is up to the right size. If your square isn't up to the right size, then hold on and I'll help you out when I finish this round. And here we go at the end of round 6. Now the pattern that I created does have an optional round of half double crochet. I'm actually going to need a bit more than half double crochet, so I'm probably going to do a half double crochet round and see if that's big enough, and then if not, I'll do an extra round of single crochet. So the half double crochet round is that we do a chain 2 to start with, and then a half double crochet in each stitch, and then in your chain space we do a 2 half double crochets and a chain 2 and 2 more half double crochets. Okay, simple as that. And do 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and then 2 half double crochets, chain 2, 2 half double crochets in the corners, and then see if that's big enough. If not, then you could add a round of single crochets if you just need a tiny bit more. And I'll see you back when I have my square up to the right size. And here we go, that half double crochet round was just enough for me. So what we're going to do now is we have all these rings of front loops. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of rings. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rings there of front loops. What we're going to do is join our colour into one of these front loops right in the centre. Okay, so one of these in the centre. So I'm just going to join mine in here. I've got a loop here, not a slip knot, I've just got a loop, and I'm going to join that through there and make a slip stitch. There we go. And what I'm going to do is just pop my hook out of there, and this tail I'm just going to bring through the centre. So just bring that through the centre. Might have to give it a wiggle. Bring it through there, and then just to secure that, I'm just going to tie it loosely to the tail that I have there from my blue, and then I'm going to secure that nice and securely when I finish the square. Okay, so we are going to make some half double crochets. So in this first loop, I'm going to make a half double crochet, the one where I've just joined the colour. I'm going to go straight in and make a half double crochet, and then now folding my square just helps a little bit to see each of those loops. So I'm going to go into the next loop and make a half double crochet, and the next one, and just work around making those half double crochets, one in each loop. Okay, working around, and then I'll show you what we do at the end of the round, because we didn't make a spiral circle. So let's just keep going. I think we had 12 stitches on this round. We're going to leave the very last stitch, because if we don't leave the very last stitch, it won't be a spiral, it will be a closed in circle. So going to leave the very last stitch. I think I've got one more to go. Now where your starting chain was, camera focus would be nice. Okay, well, where your starting chain was, you're just going to have to wiggle your hook a little bit and take it through a loop. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got one loop left. If my camera would focus, it would be so good. Having one of those days today, aren't I? Okay, I hope you can see this clearly enough. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe focus now. No. Seriously, gonna have to sort out this camera, guys. I'm very sorry for how it's being silly and not focusing. Anyway, let's move on. So I've got one loop left here now, and if I do that, I'm going to have a closed in circle. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move straight up to the next row and into that loop there. Okay, so just yarn over ready for your stitch, go in and just move straight up to that next row and then move on to the next stitch. And as you start doing this, it will make that spiral. So just continue on this next row, working around. And you're going to do this on each row. Every time you have that one stitch left, just skip that and go straight up to the next row. And I'll come back to you in a moment and show you when I've got more of this round done, just to show you how it's looking. Okay, so here we go. You can see this is what it's looking like at the moment. Not very spiral, but believe me, it will become more spiral, and you just have to do that and it makes it more spiral. So keep going, and when you get to this last stitch, you're going to skip that. So I will show you that. I'm going to keep working on it, but I just wanted to show you that this will sort of move in and look a bit funny and not really spiral, but it will come good. Okay, so I've done my last loop here, and if I did the next stitch, it would be here and it would join it. So I'm going to go up to the next row, straight up to the stitch that's sort of across, so okay, in line with the stitch that I've missed basically. So I'm going to go straight in there and do my next stitch. No need for a chain or anything, just straight in there and then across to the next stitch and work that round, and then continue working around your rows in your front loops, making this spiral and skipping that very last stitch on each round and moving up to the next. And I will come back to show you when I get to the last round, get near to the end, and show you how we're going to finish it off nice and neatly. So continue, and I'll join you back around this edge to finish. Okay, so I've done my last stitch and I'm going to fasten off. You could do this in whichever way you prefer to do, but the way I've done it is I've fastened off. You can hardly see that knot there, and then I'm just going to bring my hook through from the back right near that stitch, and I'm going to pull this yarn through. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is secure these two pieces of yarn that I've got at the back now. And because I worked over my tails earlier when I joined this colour, I just have these three pieces of yarn to sew in. And remember, you need to secure that middle well, because if you did the magic ring or that chain 4 and working into the bottom ring, it's not quite as secure as if you're used to working in a ring of like chain 4. So I'll just tuck those under for now and show you this is our tongue twister square. So I'm going to turn it that way, I think. There we go, tongue twister square. So I can't wait to see what colours you've done this in. I can't wait to see if it's a variety of bright colours, if it's whether you've done it all in one colour. One colour would be pretty cool. I'm just spreading this twister out a bit. There we go. So if you just whirl your finger through, you can just spread that out a little bit. There we go. Looks a bit more circular now. Love it. So I hope you've enjoyed this fun square. I really enjoyed designing it, and love it. And it looks so different in the different colours. So this one reminds me of those whirly toffee sweets you can get, strawberry toffees, or nougat, nugget. Anyway, I hope you leave me some comments at the bottom of the page. Tell me your favourite tongue twisters, something a bit more exciting than red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Tell me some tongue twisters down there. Let's have a bit of fun today. And upload your photos to our Facebook group. The link for that is below in the description. And click that like button if you've enjoyed this tutorial and you've enjoyed watching along, crocheting along with me. Click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and show some love and appreciation. And if you're still here despite the shaky hand, despite the shaky day, and the blurry camera, I apologise for all that. Then thank you for sticking with me, and I look forward to crocheting along with you next time. And until then, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.